Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have Patriot Coach Sherman Rivers, whose Pioneers are back in the Final Four, I believe, for the third straight year, Coach, or fourth straight year.
Third straight year.
Third straight year. They have a date at Hilton tomorrow night on Friday against Oscar Smith, who came up here and knocked off West Potomac. Coach, congratulations! Thanks for doing this.
Oh, no problem, man. Appreciate you having me on. Always a great time.
Oh, of course. Well, thanks for saying that. So, for people who don't know you very well, you are steeped in the Virginia basketball tradition. And as a player, your Potomac team won a state when I think you were probably finishing up middle school. But as a point guard, you got to the state final 2 straight years. You played an amazing Hampton team with Ronald Curry, lost to them, actually avenged that loss the next year. But then you lost to George Washington Danville, which I think is one of the best teams I've ever seen at the state tournament. I believe that was Jerry and Younger and Charles Stephens. Is that team?
Absolutely. Marcus Stevens, Charles Stevens, Jerry and Younger.
Marcus Cunningham,
sorry. Yeah, but they both end up going to Richmond. So Marcus Cunningham, Charles Stevens, Jerry and Younger played at JMU. So
exactly. When you look back on those days as an adult and as a coach, what impact did those losses or those seasons had on you? I mean, obviously there were very successful seasons to get that far. Most players like myself, I never got out of districts. But when you look back, was it a positive those seasons, or did there was some hurt involved in getting close without getting over the top?
that's a little bit of both. Obviously the positives is you got to the state championship game. To do it 2 years in a row is extremely impressive. You obviously want to come out of at least one of those with a win. And, of course, it was during the 90s, so everybody wanted to say we were like the Buffalo Bills at the time, losing 2 years in a row. So that wasn't fun. But, it was you have a learning experience from it. As an adult now looking back on it, you really just try to, convey to kids that, like, don't waste your opportunities because you don't know when the next one's going to come. And we were laughing at practice yesterday, and I'm joking with some of our seniors. We got 5 kids on our team that have been at 3 straight Final Fours, which, only other person I know that can talk like this is Los, with them being at 3 straight. But it's something that seems like it's normal, but it's highly unlikely, and it's not normal. It just really speaks to how special it is that this 2024 group has been while they've been in high school. So just the old stuff, just trying to tell them to take advantage of their opportunities, learning from the mistakes you made in that game and trying to learn the next year. There were circumstances that happened both years that kind of put us behind the 8 ball. Our first year, obviously Hampton was great, but our leading scorer rolled his ankle a minute into the game, leading rebounder, so that didn't help. And then the next year we lost McDonald's All-American with Mookie Felder being suspended for the playoffs. So.
Yeah. And it was great basketball back then. Great memories.
Absolutely.
Have those seasons impacted your coaching? I guess you just mentioned that the kids don't take this for granted, but have those games and those close calls impacted you as a coach?
Well, every day I feel like things are going to impact you, and you learn from it or you don't. It's one of the 2 things you can choose to do. And hopefully, like I said, you win your last game, but a lot of times you don't. You try to learn from each game and the things that you did well, the things that you didn't, the things that you did from a travel perspective, and the things that you didn't do, what you felt good about doing on those game days and what you didn't feel good about. So it's a lot of different aspects that go into, how you are going to approach it the next time you possibly can get an opportunity to play in a game of that magnitude. And it gives you more of a comfort level in a situation. Obviously this year, the Final Four being the same exact Final Four as last year with the same opponents, it wasn't anything that was like, man, we haven't seen Oscar Smith in a while. Last year when we played him, we hadn't seen him since 2018 at that point. So, it's a little bit of familiarity. Obviously their roster's a little bit different with the losses they have from graduation and from transfers. But they're going to be a tough opponent, obviously, coming up here to play tomorrow.
Well, Coach, we're going to get back to Oscar Smith, but I want to finish up with Madison. So I didn't get a chance to see that game. I've told everyone who would listen, Madison, to me, has played some of the best basketball in the area over the last month and a half. And South Lakes is a very tough matchup for them. But I had a feeling they're going to come out and play a good game against you guys because they've been playing so well. Tell us a little bit about the game. I know you had to come from behind to win it.
Well, listen, it's funny enough that when you playing against a if you're looking at the field of eight that were left for the state tournament, if you had to rank them, obviously, I think you rank Madison as number eight. But in my mind, and in preparation and seeing them in the past and knowing how Coach Roller is, they obviously gave me the most anxiety of anybody that I prepared for the last month, if I'm being completely honest, because they present a challenge that not very many people do, and the way that they play and their offense, they're going to run that offense and they're going to run it and they're going to run it and they're going to run it until they get the shot that they like or get you to fall asleep for a second, get a back door or a wide open look. So, and our kids aren't used to seeing that. It's like in football when you play against somebody that runs like wing T stuff and you haven't seen that all season. It's really hard to prepare for. So you try to give them, things that they can think about and deal with, but at the same time, you don't understand it until you see it. I remember talking to Isaiah Vick after the game. He said, "Man, I feel like I lost my man so many times," and it just happens. And the thing that they did well in the first part of the game is they really shot the ball well. So in my mind, I was like, "There's no way they're going to be able to sustain this because I haven't seen them shoot it at this high of a clip in the films that I watched, and obviously with our pressure and their guards playing a lot of minutes." I just thought that we were going to be able to wear it down at one point. But I can tell you, there were some parts there early on. I was like, man, we better start scoring because if they're up and we get late in the game, they're going to run offense for 2.5 to 3 minutes at a time. So,
Plus back doors.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I was I went over to watch the McLean Madison game about 3 weeks ago now, and I thought it was a 50-50 game. I've seen McLean play, and they got a nice team. They didn't have the concentration level to play with Madison because you can't fall asleep.
No.
If you fall asleep, they will get a layup on you. And I
Mhm.
mean, it was never a game. They did play well enough to keep it close, but the game was never in doubt. What was the turning point, Coach? When did you? I understand you were down at halftime. The fourth quarter was yours. What and when was the turning point?
I honestly think the turning point happened um, towards the end of the second. Uh, we got down, I want to say 25-12. And it just, like I said, you could see the frustration starting to seep into our guys a little bit. And we weren't making shots. And you have to make shots when you play against a team like that because your opportunities aren't going to be as much in a game where it's kind of more up and down. So it was 25-12, and we were able to close it at 26-19 at the end of the quarter. So that, once it got within single digits, and then at halftime, everybody asked me, said, "What did you say to him at halftime?" They thought I had like this great speech. I was like, it wasn't really anything too intense. It was just trust what you've been taught and really focus in. You might have to defend for longer than you're used to, but it's just you're going to have to get it done and make them have to make tough shots over you. And I thought that we did a better job of that in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, obviously, going on the run that we did, going from being down as much as 13 to winning by 13.
You think being down 13 is good for your team? You don't want to be down 13 tomorrow, but you think being able to overcome that will help you going forward?
Listen, we've been in situations like this at different times in the season. I mean, we played Evergreen Christian, and we were down in that game for a good amount of it and won that game on the Capital Hoops Challenge. The road trips that we made down to the 757, and we were down double digits at Hampton and came back and actually had a chance to win that game. And they made a shot at the buzzer that won it for them. So our guys have been tested. They've been in different battles and different types of environments. So I wasn't nervous about how they were going to react to it. I just knew that we just had to, just do what we do. And once we started to be able to do that, and Tay Barber obviously got loose, and Abeline made some shots in the second half. And, from there, it's just our press got to be working. We got a couple steals, got a couple dunks. And the next, like I said, it's a 47-33 compared to 26-19 at halftime.
Yeah. How did Darren Nisley play? He's one of my favorite players. He reminds me of a big guy that would have played in my day, a 6'4", kind of scrappy guy, good first step. That's how big guys played when I played basketball.
He was all right. It was a tough matchup for him, obviously going against Isaiah. So
Yeah.
he did a couple things that were positive for them. I think he had about 6 points, about 5 rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great competitor.
Mhm.
Really good wide receiver.
I
So
heard you.
yeah, really good. And his brother is even better. Well, they're both great. So let's go to Oscar Smith. So
Mhm.
I do remember you guys playing them last year. but actually you just reminded me of that. So it is a familiar Final Four. Is it? And you said they got some new players in and some graduations. Describe this year's team compared to last year's team in terms of how they play.
Well, last year's team I think was a little bit more physical. They had six big guy, about 6'9" kid, Kareem Stagg that left and went to IMG. His backup was another 6'5", kind of rugged post kid that they had, and then a couple of their wings were kind of a little bit bigger and could do some stuff. This year, it's really about a bunch of guards that were between probably about 6'1" and 6'3", and then an undersized post. So it's a little bit different of a look. But at the same time, still they got some good athletes. They got some good guards that can make some plays. We just got to be ready to sit down and defend. Completely different animal than it was on Tuesday. They're not running that type of continuity offense. It's more trying to take you off the bounce. I like our chances. I thought that last year we defended at extremely high rate in the state tournament. We gave up 39 points to them when we played them last year. Do I expect to hold them to 39 this time? No, I don't. Be nice if we do, but we only scored 47 last year, and we're a much better offensive team than we were last season. So I like how it looks going into it.
What's your analysis of the West Potomac Oscar Smith game? I saw the last 2 minutes; are heartbreaking, but I didn't expect West Potomac to lose because of the level they've been playing lately. But after watching the film, what's your analysis of why Oscar Smith was able to beat them?
I mean, it was a game of ebbs and flows. I mean, West Potomac got up early. Oscar Smith, was able to come back, and then it was just kind of back and forth from there. Unfortunate, turn of events for West Potomac, and I'm sure that, they're pretty broken up about it. Kid having a breakaway, layup or dunk, whatever he was going to do, slips and falls. And instead of being up three, they're only up one. Kid goes down and makes a game winner. So, I know that West Potomac was playing well, but Oscar Smith at that point was a 23-win basketball team, now 24. It's the state tournament. Everybody's good. Everybody expect us to come in and really beat the mess out of Madison, and we saw how that game went. So,
Yeah. So looking at tomorrow night's game, what are the keys for success for Patriot? What do you got to do to get the win?
defend. It always starts there with us. We can keep them out of the paint and keep them from getting easy looks. Then we should be pretty good. And obviously being able to take care of the basketball and attack them when they have breakdowns defensively.
Yeah. When you look at the other side of the bracket, handicap the South Lakes Hayfield game for us.
Another repeat of last year's semifinal. Very good teams. Obviously, we saw both. South Lakes is very talented. Has a lot of really good players, and clearly it starts with Jordan Scott. But they got some other guys that are playing well from right now. I'm not sure the kid's name, but number 12 for them has been somebody as of late
I think
that's
Sims. I think Sims, right?
been
Yeah.
giving them good minutes. I know that the big kid Rochester hasn't been playing, but I'm pretty sure that Billings now at this point is in better basketball shape and able to do a little bit more. So, and then Los always has his guys prepared. Traveling down to Virginia Beach and getting a win in the quarterfinal. And coming into this game, they're kind of playing on house money because everybody is probably going to think that South Lakes is the favorite. But until you beat the champ is the champ. And right now, they are the two-time defending state champ. And a lot of kids, even though they weren't playing the minutes, they were there and were able to experience a lot of those last couple of runs. So, it's going to be a really good game. I don't know who I would pick in that. I'm not going to because I don't want to give anybody bulletin board just in case we have to play them if we get it done on Friday. So, but I'm sure it'll be a really good game and two really good coaches.
Yeah, great coaches. 12, by the way, his name is Yoshi. I can't think of his last name. I said the 12 on Hayfield is Sims. Yeah, I do think it's going to be a great game, and it's interesting because even though Hayfield is the defending champs, all the pressure is on South Lakes.
Absolutely.
Hayfield's got nothing to lose now. They upset on a very hostile environment,
Mm-hmm.
and they won their titles, and they can win another one. That's just an amazing thing. Whereas Mike has an awesome team. He's done a great job. So I
Right.
definitely think the pressure is on South Lakes this time. So
For
anyway,
sure.
coach, just did I interrupt you? Anything else?
No, I said for sure. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So anyway, coach, well, look, good luck tomorrow. Don't think I'll be able to get there because I'll probably end up going to Westfield. But tell folks again exactly. It's at Hilton and it's at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Friday.
It's at Hilton. at 7:30. Finally we got a little something right to a certain degree. We got a doubleheader with the OP girls
Okay.
playing Thomas Dale before us at
Ooh.
5:30. Right. And then we play at 7:30. So unfortunately it's going to be one of those situations where they clear the gym out and make everybody come back in. So
Are they going to do that?
and I think you have to buy two separate tickets.
That's ridiculous.
It just once they can't get it all the way right. So it's
They're trying. They're trying.
like you can see the effort, but at the same time, the dollar signs were a little bit too much for them. So they're going to clear the gym, and then at 6:45, everybody will be able to enter for our game, and then obviously we'll have our game at 7:30.
I think on the right side, at least it's not a sellout. So the folks who want to come to the Patriot game, if it was too many people there, won't have to miss that game. I know sometimes it happens. They won't let one person come in until one person leaves from the earlier game. So
Completely understand that, but what used to happen is you would show up extra early because you
that's
wanted
right.
to make sure you couldn't get in, and now you're sitting there and you're watching the girls' game. So,
Yeah.
like I said, but I'm not in charge. I'm just happy that we're able to be in the state semifinals, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, you don't want to get fired today, right before the
Right.
All right, Coach. Look, best of luck to you. I'm sure you'll give them hell tomorrow night. And I look forward to talking to you about the final.
I appreciate it, Julian.
No problem, Coach. Take
All
care.
right, man.